Hello, a very warm afternoon and welcome back to the Circuito de Jerez and Nieto. We've had 5 races already here today on a Super Sunday in Andalusia. 1 race to go, and it's a very, very important one in the Moto2 European Championship. Fermin Aldeguer is all set to claim the title here today, barring any disasters for the 16-year-old Spaniard. But teammate Alonzo Lopez will be doing all he can to take the title fight down to the final round of the season. That is the Circuito de Jerez and Nieto. So is that. It's been glorious all weekend. Warm weather throughout, maybe too hot, 38 degrees today, soaring temperatures down in Andalusia, but nevertheless a fantastic scene to go racing. A whopping 6 races today. Like I said, we've done 5 of them. It's been a fantastic day so far. What is Moto2 Race 2 got in store for us? It was a fantastic battle between Aldeguer and Alonzo Lopez in race 1. Ultimately, Aldeguer claimed his 9th win in a row to take his tally up to 225 points out of a possible, yep, you guessed it, 225. He's 49 points clear in the standings with 50 left to play, including this one. So if he takes a 25 point or more advantage into the final round of the season in Valencia, he will be crowned European champion today. Here's what happened earlier on in race 1. Alonzo Lopez started from pole position with Fermin Aldeguer, his teammate, in 2nd place. Alonzo Lopez got the launch he would have been wanting, took P1, took the whole shot just ahead of Fermin Aldeguer. Number 7, Adam Norridin, got the better of Lucas Tulovic in the opening stages, and Norridin threatened to go with the 2 Boscoscura Team Chatti riders of Lopez and Fermin Aldeguer in the early stages, with Tulovic there on his 4th. But unfortunately for Norridin, a front end took at turn 6, ended his chances of another podium this season. That's what happened there to Alonzo Lopez that allowed Fermin Aldeguer to get past, and that was almightily close. I've already seen it a couple of times. It still takes my breath away a little bit just how close that was. And from there, Fermin Aldeguer led the race and didn't really have too many issues apart from a small mistake there at turn 1. Alonzo Lopez did fight back soon afterwards, but a couple of shakes of the head from Alonzo Lopez indicated that he wasn't too happy with what was going on his bike. And this is the race-winning move. Fermin Aldeguer getting it hooked up out of turn 6 and dived up the inside of Alonzo Lopez into turn 7, and from there he just eked out a little bit of a gap, inch by inch, lap by lap. This was the battle for 3rd place between Xavi Cardelus and Lucas Tulovic. That pretty much went down to the last lap, with Tulovic diving up the inside at the Jorge Lorenzo corner. A fantastic battle between those two. Will we see more of the same in race 2? Let's hope so. But this was the race winner, Fermin Aldeguer, rounding the final corner safely. Just checking to see where Alonzo Lopez was. He is there. He was within touching distance, but not close enough for Aldeguer across the line to win his 9th race of the season with his fans in tow. Tulovic taking 3rd, Lopez taking 2nd, and that gap of 49 points between Fermin Aldeguer and Alonzo Lopez is a very significant one. Aldeguer is in line to take the title today, but it's not a given. This is motorcycle racing and anything can happen as the riders head out on track. 38 degrees air temperature, 54 degrees track temperature, and the ton is up in terms of Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is baking here in southern Spain.
It's proper nuclear spec hot, that's what it is. Yeah, it's rather warm. But anyway, the story is simple in this race. Fermin Aldeguer comes into a 49 point advantage, as you've already been told. If he leaves it with a 25 point advantage or more, he will be the Moto2 European champion and wrap it up 1 race early. So the odds of it are very, very high, but this is motorcycle racing. Anything can happen. He hasn't made a mistake all season long, but he may well do this time round. We'll just have to wait and see.
There's the starting grid then. Alonzo Lopez finished 2nd in race 1, finished 2nd in every race bar 1 this year. He's doing all he can to keep the pressure on his teammate. It's kudos to Alonzo Lopez that the title already isn't wrapped up with Aldeguer winning every single race. could be done today, though, as we've mentioned. But Lopez, who we're about to get to know now, I think we are.
I am Alonzo Lopez. I am rider of the European Championship of Moto2, and this is my first season with the Bosco in Moto2. It's a difficult championship because the bike is a little bit difficult to adapt, and also with Fermin and I, we grow up a lot, and we are in a really good level. My hardest point is the braking, and with this bike I had to learn everything because I was new in Moto2, and I had to learn everything, but the brake is the hardest point of me.
Yep, Alonzo Lopez then, debutant here in the Moto2 European Championship, of course, has plenty of experience in the Moto3 World Championship. That's where most of you will know him from. Rode with the Max Racing team, Sterile Garda, in that championship in the 2020 series. Lost his seat, but he's come into the European Moto2 Championship and just got on with things. There are his results. That race win eludes him, with, of course, his teammate taking them all so far in 2021. But as I said, he's doing all he can to keep the pressure on, and if you can't win, then the next best place you can finish is second. And apart from that one in Portimao where he just lost out to Fermin Aldeguer, got shoved off track a little bit, it was a spicy tangle between the two. No hard feelings between the two, I must add. Lopez is doing all he can, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also doing all he can to stay cool by the looks of it. He looks pretty scorcho out there, as well as one of the mechanics just giving his head a wipe with a quick towel. So not just the riders that are sweating today, also the mechanics. But that really is it then. That's the shot for Moto2 2021. A little bit of water goes down the levers of Fermin Aldeguer. I'm sure that won't bother him too much. That should keep him rather nice and cool. With the ice pack on the back of the neck as well. It's one of the crucial things they try to do so much before they get going in hot conditions like this. Just keep their core temperature down to make sure that they don't overheat too soon. But obviously Aldeguer then staring into space, but also staring down the barrel of the Moto2 European Championship. And you got to say, I mean, the way he is, we don't want to write a foregone conclusion. I'm sure these guys have. They've had plenty to celebrate this year. He's been doing the business for them. 9 out of 9, as we've already said. And I'm sure that these guys, when he crosses the line at the end of this race, that hopefully he does, they're going to raise the roof off Jerez.
They certainly are. Great to see fans back, of course. Great to see them still out there despite the baking hot conditions. Hopefully they put the factor 50 on, although I suppose they're a bit more used to it down here than me and you are, Jack. But
yeah, for sure.
Here's Lukas Tulovic on the outside of row 1. Returned to the podium in race 1 here in Jerez. Had 3 races off, as you can see. That Algarve 17th place was after he'd crashed and remounted. It's been a very solid year for Tulovic. 4 podiums in the bag. He'll obviously be going for the 5th, and he comes off the back of winning his first Moto2 race at the Austrian GP as well. So a good couple of weekends so far for Lukas Tulovic.
Yeah, that's for sure. Did a great job in that Moto2 race, actually. Just bolted at the start and went for it. Our colleague and friend Matt Dunn was commentating on that one, was going absolutely ballistic. So it was good entertaining, good value to watch. But certainly Tulovic in the first race today, yeah, great job. When Cardalus came past him, it just kind of woke him up a bit and he got going again and made the move back on Cardalus and then just kind of left him in arrears. Here is a man that's going to be a little bit disappointed. We were disappointed as well because it was such a great start from him. He looked like he was the only man that could really go with the 2 Boscoscuros at the start of the race and then just took the front at turn 6, and that was it over for him.
Yeah, then 2 DNFs in Aragon and Jerez from the podium places, podium fight. That 18th place in Portimao also just after a crash. So Norridin needs a result here in race 2. He's had 3 podiums already this season. Really strong start to the year, but just had a couple of results that's not gone his way. A bit of bad luck and just a couple of very easy errors to make. And yeah, he's slipped down to 5th in the standings overall. But yeah, he's got another one coming up today to make amends, shall we say, from 4th on the grid.
Yeah, and I'm sure that if he can try and do what he did at the start of the first race, I'm sure that he will. Here's Cardelus then. Great job in the first race from Cardelus. I really thought he was going to steal that 3rd place from Tulovic. He caught him so quickly, but then when he got onto the back of him, it proved that Tulovic was a bit more of a fight than maybe what he expected. But as you can see there, his form in the past few races, apart from Aragon, has been superb. He's really kicked it up a gear after the first 3 or 4 rounds of the season.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Cardelus. It really was a great battle between Tulovic and Cardelus in race 1. To in and fro in, lap by lap for a good handful of laps, weren't they? Tulovic just dropping back and then catching back up to Cardelus, getting the better of him, and in the end did beat him quite comfortably. I'm not sure if Cardelus made a mistake or not, we didn't quite see. But yeah, hopefully another good podium battle between at least Tulovic and Cardelus. And Tiger Harder will be hoping he can get into the podium battle as well. Of course, a podium finisher last time out in Aragon. 6th in race 1, a very solid result. You can see there the DNFs he suffered from Valencia to Portimao. So important race that was in Aragon, just to get his confidence back. Tiger Harder, who has, of course, World Championship experience this year as well. Last weekend he was wildcarding for the Pertamina Mandalika SAG team in Austria. Good experience for Tiger Harder. What can he do from the outside of Row 2?
Yeah, great ride from him, to be fair. Really good and strong performance. Just at the start of the race, it looked as though he didn't quite have the pace as some of the guys that were stuck behind him, and when they did get through, they bolted away from him, namely Tulovic. But later in the race, as we always say with Tiger Harder, he's fantastic late race pace guy. So yeah, watch out for him again. If he can kind of get down to that early pace in the early laps, well, top 5 is certainly not off the cards, and that's exactly what this man got in the first race.
Yeah, Kenneth Cooper was in that battle, wasn't he, between the likes of Harder, Sam Wilford, Harder's teammate as well. So yeah, Kenneth Cooper will be hoping for a bit more of the same in race 2. 7th and the 5th is back to where he should be, as he started the year strongly with the 4th and 6th, the opening round in Estoril. Lost his way a little bit, as you can see there, but yeah, returned to some form in Aragon, and he's hit the ground running again here in Jerez.
That was the most efficient helmet put on I've ever seen. That was incredible.
I saw you just try and replicate it in your seat.
I was like, how's he done that? That was unbelievable. Some setup on the showy helmet there. Anyway, here's Diego Perez on the Bultaco. Yeah, I mean, great job from this man all weekend. And in the first race, didn't quite work out for him. Finished 13th in the end. But I really think that if he can get away with the front guys, he'll be for sure in the top 10, because all weekend long he's had that pace, whether it's hot, dry, hot or cool conditions. So certainly on the Bultaco, watch out for him.
It's certainly hot and dry here today. Umbrellas, as you can obviously tell, you don't need me to tell you that it's not for rain. It's just to try and keep the riders as cool as possible. I don't envy them in the slightest. It's unbelievably warm. 38 degrees. It's very tough conditions for the riders, but they're all very, very fit athletes, and they'll be all right, I'm sure. So here is the starting grid then. Alonzo Lopez on pole from Firmin Aldeguer and Lucas Tulovic. That's your front row. Row 2 is Adam Norridin from Cardelus and Tiger Harder, and row 3 is Kubo, Perez and Dimas Eki.
Yep, then on row 4, that is where you're going to find Sam Wilford, who had a little bit of work to do in the first race, had to charge through from 13th or 14th after a bad start, all the way up to 7th at the end. Then Bershikursky, Fernando Paz, Enes Grig, Toledo and Rato. And then on row 6, it's Croesi, Vostatek and Orgis.
Row 7 is Gonzalez from Rychek and Verdugo. Row 8 is August, Cyber and Borboom. And row 9 is Menozzi. 25 riders here for race 2 in Jerez, and a championship is on the line. The first one of the season.
It is, yeah. Championship or no championship? That's the question.
That is the question. If we have the MotoGP graphics that we get on a Grand Prix weekend, I think that would be coming up at what, turn 2 maybe?
Yep.
Or just there on the left-hand side. But of course, we don't have them here in the FIM CV Repsol Championship. But yes, championship or no championship, that is the question. Alonzo Lopez will be trying to make the answer no. And of course, Firmin Aldeguer will be hoping it's a big yes. We're about to find out. 17 laps coming up.
Yeah, 17 laps. Going to be punishment for the riders and also the tyres. Really, really, really hot temperatures. And what we've seen in the hot temperatures is that historically, the two Boscoscuro machines, they tend to perform better than the Kalex machines in the hot conditions. The disparity in the gap between the two just grows a little bit bigger. Historically, the Kalex has been a more accomplished machine, more accomplished chassis, but in hot conditions, the Boscoscuro certainly seems to have the edge.
It's just dropped in temperature slightly according to those graphics, still 36 degrees, so still massively warm for these guys, but no real wind, which is important. Good conditions to go racing, albeit a little warm, but the riders will be relishing race 2 here at the Circuito de Jerez, the famous grandstand there in the background, and those yellow boards you could see is the Firmin Aldeguer fan club. They'll be hoping their rider can take victory. So, reminder, championship standings, maximum points for Aldeguer, 225, 49 points back to Lopez. If it's 25 points or more at the end of the race, Aldeguer is the European Moto2 champion for 2021.
Yeah, big race coming up as well for Xavi Cardelus. If he wants to nick that 3rd position in the championship off Lucas Tulovic, he has to beat him in this race. 14 points is the gap between those two, and I imagine they'll be fighting it out for 3rd place, so the difference between 3rd and 4th is 3 points, and he certainly is going to need that if he wants to keep it alive going down to the final race in Valencia.
Last race of the day then coming up here in Jerez. The riders roll up to their grid slots. There's your championship leader, middle of the 2nd row, Firmin Aldeguer. Can Lucas Tulovic just disrupt the rhythm of the Boscoscuro chassis? He didn't get the greatest launch in race 1. Can he get the whole shot into turn 1 this time around? So it won't be long until we find out. The red flag will move out the way. Green flag waves in the background and the lights will come on. And then they'll go out and we're underway for the final race of the day. Looks like a good start from pole position for Alonzo Lopez. Not so good getaway for Firmin Aldeguer. Is he going to hold on to P2 into turn 1? I think he is. Tulovic's got a bit of a better start than he did in the opening race of the day. And it's as you were for the top 3, with Tiger Harder making his way through to 4th place into 3rd place at turn 2. A strong start then for the Japanese rider Tiger Harder, but it's Alonzo leading Aldeguer.
Great start for Tiger Harder. It's going to be, well, it could be commiserations for the other guys behind him, though, because if it repeats itself from race 1, Tiger Harder in the early laps didn't quite have the pace of those front runners. So already then it looks as though the two Boscoscuros have got half a second on everyone else. And Alonzo Lopez at the front is doing what he needs to do. He's just got to hope that some other people can get in the mix behind him and upset Aldeguer's rhythm.
Tulovic ducking back underneath Tiger Harder, who get a little bit screwy there into the Dani Pedrosa corner at turn 6. Tulovic safely through into 3rd place. Can he bridge that gap that's already opening up between Lopez and Aldeguer and the chasing pack? We'll find out shortly, but it's going to be interesting to see how Alonzo Lopez plays out this race, of course, with the championship on the line. A win isn't necessarily good enough for him if Aldeguer finishes 2nd. Or so if he tries to back Aldeguer up into the chasing pack is one tactic, or he just, yeah, that's very, very close between Norridin and Tiger Harder there. That's cost them a lot of time. Yeah, as I was saying, is he going to try and back his teammate up into the chasing back, or is he just going to try and go for victory and hope that Aldeguer makes some sort of mistake?
I mean, you would say it's kind of the only thing he can do, but it's a very, very risky strategy. Yeah. Because if he does that and then Aldeguer gets past him, you know, it can be all over from there. Looks as though he's just pulled out a little bit of a gap, actually. Aldeguer maybe made a mistake coming out onto the start-finish line. But as we cross the stripe then for lap 1, 2 good starts there for Sam Wilford and Kenneth Kubo. Much better than last time. Wilford up into 7th and Kubo 9th. Dropped a little bit from his grid position, but far better than, I think he was 14th across the stripe lap 1 in race 1.
Yeah, that a bit of a tangle between turn 9 and 10 has just cost the riders behind Tulovic, Harder and Cardelus, a little bit of time. So Tulovic has got a bit of breathing space in the early stages. He's trying to go with the 2 leaders. Cardelus just running it a little bit wide there. It's getting busy in the opening exchanges. All the riders pushing hard. It's a long race, though, 16 laps to go. Here's your race leaders, the old soul familiar race leaders, Alonzo Lopez and Firmin Aldeguer. Alonzo Lopez just getting it a little bit out of shape there into the the Pedrosa corner, but I think he's stopped it and parked it at the apex, and no such dramas so far.
Yeah, I thought for a second that Cardalus was maybe going to do a similar sort of thing. He was snaking his way down into turn 6 as he's actually going to look up the inside into turn 8, or not quite. But as I feared, it looks as though the same thing is happening with Tiger Harder. He's just, well, he's that cork in the bottle, isn't he? Oh, that's a big crash for someone in the background. Not too sure who that was, but they've gone tumbling through the gravel at turn 8.
Yeah, I didn't quite see who that was, so we'll see what it is on the timing screens. It looks like it's Perez. Yeah, the number 91. Tumbling down the timing screens. No jump start. That's good news for everyone involved. No jump start, so no long lap penalties coming the way of any riders so far. What can Cardalus do now? He's ahead of Tiger Harder. You're right, Jack. Harder made a very, very good start. He was up in 3rd place, but he just hasn't got quite the early advantage that he'd want to have to maintain it. Tulovic is now a good 1.3 seconds up the road from this group. There's confirmation of Diogo Perez going down. Hopefully he's all okay. Yeah, crash at turn 8, so the yellow flags are out for the time being.
And that bull taco is buried in the sand in the kitty litter, so hopefully the marshals can get it out there. It's good to see that Perez is up and okay. So such a shame for the young man that's shown, well, such promise over the whole weekend. Obviously it seems as though a bit of a return to racing for him, and still showing that he's got the talent that he had all those years ago when he was in the Red Bull rookies with the likes of, well, who is it, Toprak Razgiotlu, Brad Ray, who's in British Superbikes now, all sorts of names.
Aldeguer with the fastest lap of the race then. Expect that to change as the race goes on in the early exchanges. He's right behind teammate Alonzo Lopez. As things stand, this is all Aldeguer needs to do, but he's won 9 races in a row. I don't think he's going to want to settle for second if he thinks he can have a sniff at a race win. The magic 10 wins in a row sounds a lot better than 9 wins in a row, so Aldeguer will be going for it, of course. Tulovic is in a lonely 3rd at the minute. Some good early race pace from Tulovic. Got past Tiger Harder, which was a very important move because the likes of Cardalus and Aberdeen, who weren't able to, are now 1.7 seconds at least down on Tulovic. So in the battle for 3rd, it's that number 3 who's winning it so far.
Yeah, obviously in the first race we saw that Tulovic had a bit of a gap over Cardalus, similar to this, maybe a little bit less than this, but Cardalus was able to close it in and in the last few laps mount a bit of a comeback. Tell you what, that was bumpy on the front there. Maybe a little bit of chatter on the front end of Tulovic's calyx there going into the final corner, and then just running a tiny bit wide onto track limits on the way out. But so often we see this with Tulovic, that he's the only man that can really get anywhere near the 2 Boscosqueros. If you think Alonzo Lopez is frustrated with constantly being beaten by Firmin Aldeguer, then yeah, Tulovic is going to be even more frustrated with constantly being beaten by the 2 Boscosqueros.
Yeah, he's always just sort of a couple of tenths, maybe 3 tenths off the pace, and as that accumulates lap by lap, obviously it accumulates to seconds rather than tenths of a second across race distance. So yeah, Tulovic, in more cases than not, has been the rider to be the 3rd best in the 2021 championship. But it really has all about these two, isn't it? The number 21, Alonzo Lopez, the debutant. Firmin Aldeguer, the fellow debutant, top 2 in the championship. As they dive into the Dani Pedrosa corner, Firmin Aldeguer just shadowing Alonzo Lopez for the time being. I've not seen Lopez shake his head at the minute. We mentioned that earlier on, didn't we? Alonzo Lopez just, of course, we didn't know what, but there was clearly something that he wasn't too pleased with. You mentioned, Jack, there might have been some setup direction that they went with, maybe a little bit of a gamble to try and get the edge than Aldeguer, and it didn't quite work out. We're not quite sure. He was debriefing in part firm. He didn't look too happy, so it'll be interesting to see what changes they'll have made and how comfortable Lopez is looking in race 2.
Yeah, just a guess really. Obviously we know that these guys are always making changes, always making changes to their motorcycle, even when they're winning, just to try and find that little bit of feeling they want. And sometimes you have to just say, I'm going to risk it on going in this direction, and it might not work out. But it seems as though at the minute, if they have made a change, it's working okay. But Lopez, yeah, I think also your question has been answered about whether he's going to back them up. No,
absolutely not.
It's 2.5 seconds back to Tulovic and then 4.9 back to Cardalus.
The thing is that Lopez and Aldeguer have got such an advantage that backing up Aldeguer would have to significantly be like almost sort of dangerously slow for the 2 riders. Like they'd have to drop around about half a second to a second a lap for Tulovic to be on par with them. So it's not really quite doable. If the riders were maybe a couple of tenths, and if Tulovic was within maybe still a second of them or 1.5 seconds, maybe it could be a tactic that could work. But they've just got such an advantage that slowing down that much just, isn't really viable.
Yeah, we hear riders often say that kind of they let the gas off a little bit and just kind of push it 90% rather than 100%. It's that concentration thing where it just goes out the window and it opens them up to making little mistakes. So it certainly seems that Lopez, possibly maybe he's happy for Aldeguer to win the championship, but he just wants to beat him on track and show straight on pace that he can beat him once and for all.
Yeah, this is the other thing, isn't it? They are, of course, teammates, and the team would have, I assume, had a word with them saying, look, boys, just keep it clean. I know you're battling for the championship, but like, we don't want anything silly going on, which is very, very normal, of course. So, yeah, I think you're right, Jack. Alonzo Lopez is just obviously pushing as hard as he can at 100% and hoping that he can win. And if Fermin Aldeguer makes some sort of mistake, then he makes some sort of mistake. But if not, Alonzo Lopez just wants to get that first race victory of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure he will do. And we've got a long way to go until we find out if he's going to do it or not. There you go. That's the familiar sight for the two Boscoscuro guys, P1 and P2. 12 laps to go. Alonzo Lopez, it was around 8 laps to go last time that Aldeguer made his move. So in 3 or 4 laps or so, I think we're going to see what he's got up his sleeve if he does have something over Alonzo Lopez. But I've got to say, Lopez looks just a bit more composed this time.
He does. We're not seeing the shake of the head, have we, so far in race 2. Similar patterns to what happened in race 1. Alonzo Lopez getting the start he wanted. Aldeguer getting a decent enough start to get himself into second position. And just, he's just shadowing Lopez like he did in race 1. The times are pretty much identical for Lopez and Fermin Aldeguer. Last lap, Aldeguer was 20 thousandths of a second quicker than Lopez, which is pretty much nothing, as obviously you can see from your own eyes that the gap isn't changing. They're just running line astern. So this is going to be very interesting to see if and when Aldeguer does pick his moment to try and pass. Of course, he was handed a little bit of a gift in race 1 when Lopez made that mistake in turn 6.
Yes.
Alonzo Lopez did then bite back, but then Fermin Aldeguer was able to re-overtake his teammate, and that was when we really saw Aldeguer just sort of stretch the advantage out to 1 second and ultimately the race win.
Yeah, definitely. It was that mistake that kind of, well, I guess it unwrote the plan for the race for the rest of it, really. Kind of all action from there. And that's where Aldeguer decided to make the move and just go for it. But one thing that was also really critical to how the first race played out was the fact that Alonzo Lopez was much weaker than his teammate in the first split. This time it doesn't seem to be so much of the case. They both seem to be...
Oi. Mistake there for Lopez.
Well, I've just jinxed him.
That's the second one of the day for Jack Gorse. But yeah, Alonzo Lopez just getting it a little bit out of shape into the braking zone, into turn 1. It's forced him to run wide. Not sure what happened there with Aldeguer.
Yeah.
I thought he was running a little bit too hot there into turn 2. I didn't want to say anything just in case I was wrong, but he did make a little bit of a mistake there. But the leaders changed then. We were just talking about track limits there for Alonzo Lopez. He's clearly pushing, of course. He wants that race victory. We were just chatting there about Lopez not making a mistake and looking steady. Just a little bit out of shape into turn 1, and it's cost him around about a second or so, maybe a little bit less. But now he's behind Aldeguer. So let's see if he can try and retake him.
Yeah, just starting to come alive a bit at the rear end of that Boscoscuro for Alonzo Lopez. A couple of times this lap, just because he's trying to push on and make up for that mistake. He's lost the rear once or twice, so we'll have to watch out and see if he can actually claw his way all the way back up to Fermin Aldeguer. Looking back towards 3rd and 4th, this time it appears as though Cardelus has been unable to close in on Lucas Tulovic. It's about 2.9 seconds back to Cardelus from Tulovic. So Tulovic doing the business and holding him off, lapping in the low 44s, which is comfortably the 3rd quickest man on track after these two. Oh, he's gone wide there as Fermin Aldeguer missed the apex entirely at turn 12. So that advantage has been slashed in half pretty much, and he's right back with him.
Aldeguer might be feeling the pressure, is he? Not sure. He's not felt the pressure so far this year, but when there's a championship title on the line, surely, especially at 16 years old, you're going to feel a little bit more nervous, out of shape there into turn 1, but somehow gets it hooked up on the apex. Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be unfair to say he's feeling the pressure because he's just won 9 races in a row. So
yeah,
absolutely taking nothing away from Fermin Aldeguer whatsoever. No one can. He's been absolutely supreme. As you can see there, championship standings, 250 points from a possible 250 points. Just simply unbelievable.
And of course, we remind you again that all he needs is a 25-point advantage at the end of this race to be crowned Moto2 European champion. So as it stands, he's got it in the bag, and it's going to be Aldeguer's day in the sun.
Into turn 6 then, Danny Pedrosa corner. Lopez not close enough to make a move so far as the Team Chiatti boys on Alonzo Lopez's side of the garage look on.
Yeah, they'll certainly been hoping that their man can get back up to him and show him a wheel or two. Try and pick off that first race victory of the season. And I tell you what, he is giving chase, isn't he? He's not letting this one go. He's got the bit between his teeth as Lopez, and he is not releasing his grip on it.
No, he's not at all. Fermin Aldeguer then leads from Alonzo Lopez. Tulovic 3.8 seconds down. Not losing too much time is Tulovic. A very, very lonely third place. So, barring any mistakes or disasters for Lukas Tulovic, looks like he'll be claiming a second podium of the day. Here he is, the number 3 rider, the Tech 3 e-racing rider in the FIM NL Moto2 World Cup. Incidentally, their last round will be in Misano in a few weeks' time in September, and that's when the Moto3 Junior World Championship will be alongside the Grand Prix paddock. So a bumper weekend of action coming up in Misano in just under a month's time.
Yeah, that's going to be a busy one. Obviously, it will be Valentino Rossi's penultimate Grand Prix at home as well, so it's going to be madness, I do feel.
Absolutely, always is in Misano. A great place to go racing, as is Jerez. And Alonzo Lopez has really closed in now on Fermin Aldeguer. He's climbing all over the back of him. Aldeguer almost looks like he's touring there. I don't know why.
Is he going to look over, or what's he doing?
Yeah, Alonzo Lopez sitting up as well.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not quite sure.
Very interesting. Like, it did look like he was riding very, very slowly. Alonzo Lopez giving him a little bit of a wave. I'm not sure, obviously, what he's saying in the crash hour. I'm not sure what Aldeguer's tactics are here. Of course, he knows second place is good enough. But you don't want to lose too much concentration, because that can just cause you to make a mistake and tumble down the road. So, yeah, not sure what went on there between the two teammates. Not sure the team do either.
Yeah, they look just as confused as us in the commentary box. Yeah, not 100% sure. I guess that Aldeguer was maybe just bored of staring at no one in front of him. So, yeah, just wanted to have a look at Alonzo Lopez again. But, yeah, good sense of humour there from Alonzo Lopez coming down the back straight, looking over, giving him a wave. I guess we'll see how this one plays out. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah, they can't mess around too much, because you just saw at the top of your screen there, Lukas Tulovic. Okay, he's 3 seconds down, but you don't want to be cruising and waving hello to your teammate too much in the closing stages, because Lukas Tulovic will be waiting to pounce. So yeah, we'll try and find out what happened there at the end of the race. Fermin Aldeguer just sitting up slightly and Alonzo Lopez passing him. It looks like they both got their heads back down now.
Yeah, strange one. Certainly we'll have to ask, but yeah, entertaining nonetheless anyway. It does appear now, though, these boys are back on it. Incidentally, that last lap around, Aldeguer did a 45 flat, and Tulovic was at a 44.2. Alonzo Lopez was at a 44.5. So yeah, Aldeguer was like 1.3 off what he'd done the lap before. So yeah, not too sure. Guess he was just letting him through.
Yeah, might just want to have a look where his teammate might be a little bit stronger. Didn't want to lead the race in the middle part of the race, and maybe just wants his teammate to take the baton, and maybe Aldeguer, after he's done a little bit more learning behind Lopez, will dive up the inside at turn 8, just like that.
Yeah, you've no idea what you're on about.
But Alonzo Lopez...
Anyway, he's back through on him. So.
Yeah, Lopez dives back through underneath. So yeah, not sure what's going on here. That was an interesting place to pass from Aldeguer.
Leon August crashed on the Avintia Juniors.
2 maybe, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Looks like turn 2 for...
That's one of the stock 600 runners, so that's a shame for Leon August. I think we're about to see what's happened. I presume it'll be a little front ender. Yep, lost it kind of early on in the corner, so it's just a bit of a nod of, really? But yeah, anyway, glad to see he's all okay enough.
classic turn 2 crash, isn't it, here, Ev? We've got a lot of tight right-handers, tight corners, as well as fast sweeping ones. It's a really, really good circuit, but we do see, of course, with the Grand Prix scene coming here every year, we are quite accustomed to seeing a lot of the same crashes, especially down at the Dani Pedrosa corner, for example. Turn 2 catches a lot of riders out when they're storming into there fresh on the opening laps or so. Lopez then still leading the way by a couple of attempts, with Tulovic in a very, very lonely 3rd place. How's Cardelus looking? Yeah, he's 2.3 seconds up the road from Tiger Harder in 4th and 5th. Then comes Adam Norridin in 6th place. Then there's Sam Wilford. How far's Sam Wilford down on Norridin? He's 2.3 seconds down from Adam Norridin in 7th. He's got Kevin Kubo for company as Wilford in 8th place. Alex Toledo is 9th, and Matteo Rato on the Promo Racing Machine is just behind Toledo in 10th place.
And incidentally, if you're supporting one of the Stock 600 runners at the moment, Alex Skrieg is leading that. He's down in 14th place overall, but he's the top Stock 600 runner, and he's about 6 seconds ahead of Crazy and Gonzalez, the 2 Easy Race teammates. So that is the top 3 in your Stock 600.
Of course, Skrieg has already wrapped up the title in the Super Stock 600. Did that last time out in Aragon. The number 40 there of Minozzi just getting out of the way of the leaders as they safely pass once again through turn 11 and turn 12 and into the Jorge Lorenzo corner. We've seen plenty of drama here today, including in the Moto2 class. We saw Lucas Tulovic and Cardelus in race 1 going hammer and tongs at it. If you've not seen any of the other races today, do go watch. There's been fascinating battles in the Moto3 Junior World Championship and European Talent Cup.
Yeah, and these two are firmly back on it now. Back down into the 43s, the 43.5 and a 43.4 from your top 2. Compare that to this man, Lucas Tulovic, who was up at a 44.7, just maintaining his pace once again. So yeah, the top 2 have stopped waving at each other, and yeah, they're back on the pipe.
5.5 laps to go. As things stand, Aldeguer will be European Moto2 champion in 2021, but 5 laps is a long time in motorcycle racing. Still Alonzo Lopez leading. Aldeguer right up in the slipstream. Is he going to make a move? He pulls up to the inside down into turn 6. He's a long... Oh, I think the camera just did me in there. He thought it was alongside. Thought he was going to steam through into the lead of the race, but not quite. Alonzo Lopez just checks over his shoulder. This is where he made the move in race 1, and that's where he's made the move in race 2. But Alonzo Lopez just gets the cut back. A little bit close for comfort there. Shoves Aldeguer wide onto the green paint. You can't do that too many times because you will get a long lap penalty. There's been no track limits warnings yet for either of these two. But yeah, that's where Aldeguer made the move in race 1, got the good exit out of turn 6 and made a move into turn 7. So he showed a wheel to Alonzo Lopez, so Lopez already knew he was there, of course, but that's twice now today that Aldeguer has chosen turn 7 as the passing manoeuvre, so Lopez is obviously going to be aware of that.
Yeah, he's really good at getting the drive out of 6 and just making a beeline for the apex at 7. So certainly one of those moves that he does seem to like. That is number 36 of Sander Croesi. Oh, that's a shame because he was actually running 2nd in the Stock 600 class, I do believe. Yes, he was. So that's unfortunate for him, missing out on a Stock 600 podium. Looks as though there's possibly a bike problem there with his Yamaha R6. But back to these two then. Lovely trades of position on the previous lap. And I'm sure that we're probably going to see a bit more like that, because if I was Aldeguer, I wouldn't want to win the title finishing 2nd.
No, he's won 9 out of 9 races and he wants that 10th win, doesn't he? And of course, the best way to win the title in any sport really is to obviously win the race or win whatever discipline you're in. It's obviously you're standing on the top set of the podium and celebrating a title. It's perfect, but Alonzo Lopez, as we've mentioned plenty of times, we'll be hoping that isn't the case because he's been 2nd so often this year. 8 2nd places and 1 3rd place. He's been on the podium every single race. It really has been a stellar season for Alonzo Lopez, but Aldeguer has just had that little extra when it counted. But there's been barely anything to separate them throughout the season, as you can see today. It's pretty much a carbon copy of race 1. These two really are in a league of their own. 5.5 seconds now clear of 3rd place Lucas Tulovic, who is turn 5.8 seconds.
He's looking over his shoulder. Here we go.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that. I was just reading the timing screens. But yeah, looking over his shoulder again. think it's going to get rather tasty in the final 2 laps. Well, hopefully in the final 2 laps, but we've got 3 more to go before that.
You can see visibly there, just coming down into turn 13, how much earlier Aldeguer brakes than Alonzo Lopez. He's obviously just not even bothered about doing him at turn 13 yet. Possibly, maybe, I don't know, he might be leaving it for the last lap and not showing him his hand at all, showing that he's letting Alonso think that he's probably better than Aldeguer is in that certain section of the track. But nice and sideways on the way in. But yeah, not bothered about passing him into turn 13 yet. It seems as though Aldeguer is just going to surprise him somewhere random again, possibly turn 7.
Yeah, turn 7's been a favoured move for Aldeguer so far today. It's been 2 out of 2, didn't quite make it stick. A couple of laps ago, Alonzo Lopez got the cutback and ran him wide onto the green paint. So where else is he going to try and make a move? They're both running very similar pace, of course, but has Aldeguer just got a little bit in hand? We're unsure. It's impossible to tell at this stage, but with 3.5 laps to go now, this is surely, if Aldeguer has aspirations of winning the race, which of course he does, and if he does feel like he's got superior pace, surely with just over 3 laps to go, you're going to try and make a move just to see what your teammate, in this case Alonzo Lopez, has got in return.
Yeah, and we're coming down into crunch time now, really. And when it's come down into this previously between these two, when Aldeguer makes the pass, he makes sure it sticks. So, yeah, we can expect a fairly firm but fair pass coming up, I am sure. Just a quick update on your top 10 movers and runners. 7th and 8th has traded. Kenneth Kubo has now jumped up into 7th place, past Sam Wilford, relegating the Brit down to 8th. And everything else is as it was earlier. We're still Tulovic, Carlos and Harder, and then Adam Noradin from 36.
Yeah, Harder just holding on to P5, a second ahead of Adam Noradin. That's getting a bit tasty there in the battle for the top 5 between the Japanese rider and the Malaysian rider. Carlos in a very lonely 4th place, and Tulovic in an equally as lonely 3rd place.
Well, it seems as though actually Harder is closing in on Carlos ahead of him. He's only 1.5 back, and we do know how quick Tiger Harder is in late race laps, so that one may well come down to a spicy conclusion.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Carlos 1.5 seconds clear of Tiger Harder as things stand, and as things stand, it's still Alonzo Lopez who leads the way. 3 laps remaining here in Jerez, the final race of the day. Aldeguer backing it in nicely into the Danny Pedrosa corner. What's going to happen? This is on a tightrope. Championships on the line for Fermin Aldeguer. Race win, the first race win in the Moto2 class, is on the line for Alonzo Lopez. Both desperately want to win the race, of course. Born and bred racers are Alonzo Lopez and Fermin Aldeguer. Both young riders learning their trade, and just this season have been absolutely marvellous to watch throughout the season. Both debutants on a Moto2 bike and both taking it like a duck to water. You have to imagine that we'll be seeing at least Fermin Aldeguer, the champion-elect in the World Championship scene in Moto2 next year, and you have to say Alonzo Lopez probably deserves his shot as well.
Yeah, definitely. They both deserve a shot. They've been superb this season. Absolutely picture perfect, the pair of them. You know, hitting their marks all the time. Neither one has had DNF. Neither one's barely made a mistake. They've been superb, but look at that. It's just... Oh, that is close for comfort. Unreal. Beelined it straight down the straight. Got a shorter run to turn 1 than Alonzo Lopez did.
Yeah.
Shakes of the head. There'll
Not
be
surprised.
A few nervous people in that garage if something like that happens again. But yeah, that was literally rubbing fairings down into turn 1 there.
Yeah, Lopez just making sure he broke that a little bit later than his teammate Fermin Aldeguer. Got a great run out of the final corner to get alongside him, but just had the outside of the track, so Lopez on the inside was dictating the play, and he keeps hold on to the race lead. Here we go, down into turn 1, both braking pretty much at the same time, but yeah, Lopez having the inside line.
Ooh, a tiny bit of contact.
There's a little bit of contact there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Nevertheless, great racing from the two Boscoscora machines, and this is going right down to the wire. There's less than a 10th in it between them. Lopez still leading. He so desperately wants that race win, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he does deserve it. But Fermin Aldeguer has just been that just had that little bit extra throughout the season. He wants that 10th race win in a row.
Oh, he's held him up.
What was going on there? That was interesting tactics from Lopez. Did he make a mistake? Did he miss a gear or something, or was just sitting up in the middle of the corner there?
Not too sure. I think he just tried to catch him by surprise, so he didn't get him down into 13. But we'll see now coming down into there. Obviously, this is the penultimate lap. We got the final one coming up after this, and it could be the final lap for Fermin Aldeguer as the non-champion. In 1 lap's time, he could well be the Moto2 European champion.
What's going to happen then on the last lap? Alonzo Lopez leads over the line. It's last lap time here in Jerez. Lopez leads teammate Aldeguer. Aldeguer is happy in 2nd place, but he'd be more happy in 1st place. He will be the European Championship winner as things stand through turn 2. It's a popular passing pace, as is turn 1. So that's 2 down for Lopez to keep Aldeguer behind. We'll sweep through turn 3 and 4. Not many passing opportunities through here. Same with turn 5, you think, but Aldeguer is going to try something for sure. Now then, round turn 5 we go, down into turn 6. Danny Pedrosa corner. Does drama awaits?
He got it spinning up coming out of there, did Aldeguer. He's been really good on the corner exit. We need to see the two of them more. Watch out, back marker. Who was that getting in the way? Not too sure. Looks as though Alonso's gone defensive. Can he get it stopped and pull it down to the 2nd apex? He can. Great stuff. That's one place he's defended from. Needs to watch out here. This is where Aldeguer's done him twice already. Covers it. Brilliant. Now we've only got about 2 places where Aldeguer can make it happen. He thought about it.
He really did think about it into turn 8. So turn 9, this is the first one that Jack Gorse was on at. Turn 9, Alonzo Lopez goes a little bit defensive and holds him off so far. Job done so far on the last lap for Lopez. Job done in terms of the championship so far for Fermin Aldeguer, but both want the race win. It's all going to come down to turn 13. We sweep through turn 11, then we'll sweep through turn 12. They've just passed the Fermin Aldeguer fan club. Turn 13 is coming up. What's going to happen?
He's coming down now. He's going to look to the inside. Surely Alonzo Lopez has braked as late as he can, and he's got it covered. All he's got to do now is get it fired out the final corner, and Alonzo Lopez is finally going to win a race.
Alonzo Lopez wins the race for the first time this season, but Fermin Aldeguer is your 2021, I should say. Got a little bit excited there for Fermin Aldeguer. He is your European Championship title winner in 2021. And Alonzo Lopez, a deserved victory, a first of the season. Aldeguer pushed him all the way, but it's the title for Fermin Aldeguer. It's a win,
and here we go
for Lopez. It's happy and smiles all round for the 2 riders there. They've been the top 2 in the championship for the entire season, top 2 here in Jerez once again. Aldeguer's racing win streak is over, but he won't care. He is the title winner for 2021.
Yep, he's about to be delivered with then a championship helmet. There it is, all gold, lovely stuff. That's what you like to see. Those guys, when he comes around to turn 12, they're going to be going absolutely ballistic. The Aldeguer fan club, their man has done it. 9 wins, 1 second place. It's lofted him all the way to the Moto2 European title. And you've got to say, there is absolutely no one more deserving. He's been superb. Fantastic, run out of superlatives for him. He's just been awesome this year. Congratulations to that man. Look at that diamond #1 as well. Bit of bling on it.
You love to see it, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't beat a nice gold helmet for a title winner. We see it plenty of times in the World Championship, of course. #1 slapped on the front of his bikes. Fantastic stuff. And we're just going to get a nice little montage to celebrate Fermin Aldeguer, your 2021 title winner in Moto2.
Job done. Champion of Europe in the Moto2 category. Great stuff. Obviously got the fan club flag there, as well as the Spanish flag on his flag. There it is, confirmed. 2021 Moto2 European champion. Awesome stuff. He's been brilliant all year. Well, he's got one. Well, what do we want to call it? What do we want to call it? He's got 1 race in Valencia coming up in over a month's time. To be like a celebration race, just a champions parade.
Absolutely, yeah. He can just go out and enjoy himself in Valencia now, can't he? No pressure. He's got the title wrapped up, and he can just go to Valencia and just enjoy himself as the 2021 title winner. Happy days all round in the Boscoscura Team Chiatti box. Alonzo Lopez is a race winner for the first time, thoroughly deserved for the Spaniard. There he is. I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe he's run over to some, I was going to say some fans or some team members or some family members, but doesn't look like it. I think he might have maybe ran out of fuel on the cooling down lap or something. Not quite sure, didn't see the bike. Main thing is Alonzo Lopez is all okay after his race victory, but 2021 is all about Fermin Aldeguer in Moto2. Lucas Tulovic, 2 podiums from 2 on Sunday here in Jerez. Fantastic race from the German yet again. 12 seconds off the win, but another 5 seconds up the road from Xavi Cardelus. Excellent job from Lucas Tulovic. 5th podium of the season for the German number 3 rider. He consolidates that 3rd place in the championship. Cardelus finished 4th in the end, 5.2 seconds down on Tulovic, and eventually beat Tiger Harder by 2.5 seconds. There's Alonzo Lopez's bike. Looks like he's just had a mechanical problem or ran out of fuel maybe on the final lap. All smiles though. Of course he looks drained after that. But here is Fermin Aldeguer, pulls up just on the exit of turn 11 in the grandstand opposite him. There they are, the Fermin Aldeguer fan club. Awesome to see. Their man is the title winner. Nice little burnout as well. You love to see it. Great to see some fans back in, of course. Normality returning after a very tough year for everyone all across the world the last 18 months or so. Can't beat a number 1 plate, can you? Slapped on the front of his bike. Will he run it in Valencia? Not sure that's allowed, who knows. I'm sure he'll have it somewhere printed on his helmet, leathers or bike to celebrate. Rolls down into pit lane as a title winner. Of course, won the Superstock 600 class last season. Moved up into the Moto2 European Championship for this season. And he simply dominated proceedings. 9 wins in a row before today. A 2nd place to be crowned champion. Congratulations to Fermin Aldeguer and congratulations to the Team Chiatti team as well, riding the Boscoscura chassis. Yaron Montella, of course, won last year. He moved up into the Moto2 class. Will Fermin Aldeguer be doing the same, entering the World Championship scene? He's already had a couple of races there, as we mentioned. 12th place on his debut in Mugello, got everyone's eyebrows raised, and rightly so. What a performance that was, and he's just been unstoppable in 2021. Jack Gorse has gone to wait for Alonzo Lopez. He might be waiting a little bit longer than anticipated. Not sure how far away Alonzo Lopez is from getting back into Parc Ferme. 16-year-old Fermin Aldeguer, European champion in Moto2. What a star this rider is. What a future ahead. Of course, he's riding in the Moto2 World Cup as well this year. 11th in that championship, best of 4th last time out in Austria, so he's getting better and better in Moto2. Their final round is coming up at Misano, as we mentioned, alongside the Moto3 Junior World Championship and the MotoGP World Championship. The Moto2 riders won't be there. The European Championship Moto2 riders, neither will the European Talent Cup. It's just the Moto3 Junior World Championship riders who are there for the Misano round, and then the whole FIM CV paddock will reconvene in Valencia the weekend after the final MotoGP weekend for their final round of the year. So a couple of months to wait for that. Here's Alonzo Lopez, and he's made it back to Parc Ferme. Fantastic stuff for Alonzo Lopez. He is a race winner, thoroughly deserved. Fantastic for Alonzo Lopez. Gives his teammate a nice big hug. Congratulations to both of them. fantastic seasons all round. Lukas Tudovic passes on his congratulations as well. Can't speak highly enough of Aldeguer, and also can't speak highly enough of Alonzo Lopez after losing his ride in Moto3 at the end of the season. He's come to the Moto2 European Championship and got his head down and taken to it like a duck to water. Fantastic stuff. Aldeguer holds the #1 plate, a gold #1 plate, the title winning board. I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations in the Team Chatty Boscoscura ranks tonight, and rightly so. Makes all the hard work worthwhile, doesn't it? Race wins and titles is what everyone sets out to achieve when they come racing. Team members and riders, of course. And by the looks of it, it looks like Alonzo Lopez is ready to speak to Jack Gorst any minute now. We'll be hearing from the race win. I'm sure he's over the moon. So yeah, we're just going to head down to Parc Ferme then, and here is Alonzo Lopez, your race winner, with Jack Gorst.
Alonso, it's a pleasure to finally speak to you up here.
Thank you.
You won the race. Fermin won the championship, but it looked like a fun race. Just tell us about it.
Yes, I am completely destroyed because the race was really hard, but finally I did my best. I think that I worked a lot for this victory, and I am really happy about my first victory here in Moto2. Thank you for the team, thank you for the sponsors, my family, and I don't know, also to Hugo Millán. This is for you.
Congratulations, Alonso. And just once more in Spanish, please.
Bueno, estoy completamente destrozado después de esta carrera porque ha sido durísima. Sobre todo 2 carreras destrozan y bueno, al final he dado mi máximo. Creo que he trabajado para conseguir esta victoria y al final, bueno, todo trabajo tiene sus frutos y quería dedicar a esta victoria a mi familia, al equipo y a todos los que me han apoyado, y especialmente a Hugo Millán y a su familia.
Congratulations, Alonso.
Congratulations indeed to Alonzo Lopez, and we'll also, of course, be hearing from Fermin Aldeguer after he wrapped up the title today. Alonzo Lopez attributing his first victory in Moto2 to the late Hugo Millán. Our thoughts continue to be with Hugo Millán and his family, friends and team, and everyone else who was close and knew Hugo Millán. We race today in honour of the young 14-year-old, one of Spain's rising stars for the future, who tragically lost his life. So then, Fermin Aldeguer will be coming to speak to Jack Gorst shortly before the podium ceremony. Alonzo Lopez, of course, over the moon, worked so hard for that Moto2 European Championship win. But here he is, the title winner for 2021, Fermin Aldeguer, talking to Jack Gorst. Just having some technical issues there. I'm sure we'll hear from Fermin Aldeguer shortly. Maybe we can hear from him now. He's down there with Jack Gorst in Parc Ferme.
Couldn't quite seal it with a perfect 10, but it's been a fantastic year. Congratulations on the championship. You've been awesome this year. Well done.
Yes, I'm very happy with all the years. Now I am in a dream. No, we are champion of the European champions. Nothing. Thank you to all my team for the work, to all my family for the support, and my sponsor, and nothing. I'm very happy.
Congratulations, and just once more in Spanish as well, please.
Pues estoy súper contento con el año. La verdad que ha sido increíble. Estoy en un sueño de ser campeón de Europa y darle las gracias a todo mi equipo por el trabajo, a mi familia por el apoyo y a mis patrocinadores.
Congratulations. European Champion 2021.
Race 2 highlights then from Jerez, the last race of the day. Alonzo Lopez starting from pole position once again, and once again got the whole shot into turn 1 to lead from the start. Fermin Aldeguer made a good start also from the middle of the first row as Tiger Harder made a brilliant getaway from the grids. He's got to 3rd place at turn 2, but Lucas Tulovic wasn't having any of it. Got straight back past into the Dani Pedrosa corner as the two Bosco Oscuro and Team Chiatti riders of Alonzo Lopez, the number 21 there, and Fermin Aldeguer broke clear of the chasing pack. Alonzo Lopez led for a few laps, looking comfortable until then. Turn 1, a little bit squirrely on the brakes, ran wide to let Fermin Aldeguer through, but that wasn't race over for Alonzo Lopez. No, far from it. Reeled in his teammate again. There's some games being played, not sure what happened there. Alonzo Lopez just giving his teammate a little wave down the back straight. Fermin Aldeguer diving up the inside at turn 7, but it didn't stick this time around like it did in race 1. Alonzo Lopez straight back through before turn 8. And that's pretty much how it stayed for the rest of the race. Two locked together, the number 21 and number 54. Got a little bit close for comfort at turn 1, contact there between the two, but both stayed upright. Alonzo Lopez holding on to the lead. And this was the final lap. Aldeguer thought about diving up the inside, but Alonzo Lopez was good on the brakes, got it stopped into the corner. Got his Moto2 machine stood up and took victory for the first time in 2021, for the first time in his Moto2 career. But 2nd place for Fermin Aldeguer handed him the 2021 European Moto2 title. Fantastic from Fermin Aldeguer throughout the season. We run out of superlatives for the 16-year-old. Fantastic also from Alonzo Lopez, and Lucas Tulovic complete the podium for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, superb stuff then from Alonzo Lopez to finally take that race victory he's been craving so much. Half a second it was in the end from champion 2021 Fermin Aldeguer. Lucas Tulovic, another fine 3rd from Cardelus, Harder, Norodin, Kubo, Wilford and Dimas Ekipitama rounding out your top 9. 10th place was Alex Toledo, another good ride from him. Piotr Bishakirsi in 11th from Mattia Rato. McKinley Carl Paz. And then your stock 600 runners, Alexis Screed, once again the cream of the crop in those guys from Gonzalez and Vostertek on the podium, with Kevin Orgis just missing out there in 4th and 17th overall. Verdugo, Chiba, Joel Boroboom, Philip Rihak, Menozzi and Croese, Orgis and Perez on the ball. Taco, all your non-finishers.
Podium time then for Lucas Tulovic, Fermin Aldeguer and Alonzo Lopez.
El Bosco Oscuro, Talent Team Chiatti, fuerte el aplauso para su representante.
Bosco Oscuro, Talent Team Chiatti, team member, astrides the podium. They'll take home their 10th consecutive race winners trophy. Lucas Tulovic, great day at the office for the German, 2 P3s. Happy days here in Jerez. There's your 2021 title winner, Fermin Aldeguer, lost his gold-plated number 1 helmet proudly. And Alonzo Lopez, he's so used to standing on the 2nd step of the podium. Finally, the Spaniard is on the top step.
Yeah, it's great to see that. You could see how relieved he was in Parc Fermé to finally pick up that podium. Obviously, his bike actually didn't even make it back. It came back on one of the recovery trucks because he mustn't have been able to get it restarted after he stopped and celebrated with his teammate. But Tulovic once again with a 3rd place trophy. Well done to that man. The best of the rest this year. Fermin taking a 2nd place trophy. He's probably thinking, why is it so small? And there it is. The celebrations and release for Alonzo Lopez. Good on that man. It's great to see him finally get that race victory.
Lucas Tulovic gets the €200 check. That'll fill the car up on the way home for Lucas Tulovic wherever he's going, or
a couple of beers maybe.
A couple of beers and a nice meal in the airport. Here's the Spanish national anthem.
Fuerte el aplauso para los integrantes del podio.
Congratulations, Alonzo Lopez. Congratulations to Fermin Aldeguer. And congratulations to Lucas Tulovic. They'll spray the bubbly on the podium. Just fizzy water, unfortunately, for Fermin Aldeguer. He's not old enough quite yet.
I'm sure it's
spray the alcohol.
I'm sure the family will allow him a small beer tonight. He's done quite well, hasn't he?
I'm sure he's deserved a little treat.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a season. Just one round to go now for the Moto2 European Championship.
What a season, what a day.
Yeah, what a day.
It's been a long one here down in Jerez. Baking hot. Looks as though the mechanic's going to get a well-earned drink. Certainly have earned their money's worth today and this weekend.
6 races down, 6 races done. What a day here in Jerez, and what a day it is for Alonzo Lopez, Fermin Aldeguer and the Boscoscura Team Chiatti talent team. Fantastic stuff. Next time we'll see these riders on the Moto2 machines will be in Valencia in November, so a little bit of time off. I say time off. Fermin Aldeguer will be racing the Moto E World Cup, of course, in the meantime at Misano for their last round, alongside the Moto3 Junior World Championship.
Y felicitar a Alonso, que está ahí toda la temporada como un campeón. Señoras, señores, tenemos campeón del europeo de Moto2.
There you go.
Ya ha salido, lo ha festejado en la pista, lleva el 1. Lo disfruta, lo goza, pero es el momento de recibirlo con el más fuerte de los aplausos.
Yep. Champion, European champion, the first one down, 2 yet to decide in Moto3 and the European Talent Cup. Here he comes then, gets the podium to himself, and rightly so. He is the 2021 European Moto2 champion.
Yeah, couldn't quite finish it off with a perfect 10, but I mean 9 out of 10 isn't bad, is it? Only dropped 5 points all year. That's how brilliant he's been. He's just been a cut above the rest. And Fermin Aldeguer, we sincerely hope to see you in the World Championship next year, because what a young talent this man is. 16 years old. 16 years old, that is incredible.
Yeah, it really is incredible. Riding like he's been riding for years on that bike. Here's the championship standings then, and 245 points out of possible 250 hands Fermin Aldeguer the title. Alonzo Lopez gets his first win of the season. He'll finish second in the championship. Lucas Tulovic consolidates 3rd place ahead of the final round of the season. Card Luce is 4th, Norridin 5th. Sam Wilford is 6th for the British rider. Matteo Rato in 7th. Dimas Eki and Toledo bringing up the top 9. Tiger Harder is 10th ahead of Kubo, Biesikerski, Zetti and Ishikura. McKinley Kyle Paz, Aleix View and Andy Verdoya are in the top 17. Joel Borborn, Oscar Gutierrez, Jan Mertens, Luis Verdugo, Jeremy Burnett, Diego Perez and Mark Luna are the remaining point scorers so far in the 2021 Moto2 Championship.
There's your stock 600 podium then. Alex Escrig doing the business in that class. Class within a class, of course. And this is, of course, the championship that Fermin Aldeguer won last year. So watch out for Alex Escrig if he can pick up a Moto2 ride here in the paddock next season. So 250 points then, all done. 102 points ahead of Andres Vosatek, Kevin Orgis, Sandro Croesi, Leon Orgis, Guillermo Moreno, Federico Menozzi, Mika Perez and Alex Perez down in 9th. And flicking over to the rest of the runners, we do have Gonzalez, Chiba, Rihak, Carpe, Schultz, Jespersen and Kiko Muria down there in 16th with 7 points. So that then is pretty much it for the day. It's been a pleasure commentating on the 6 races. Great racing, clean racing, safe racing, awesome action. And there's one champion been crowned today.
Thank you very much for joining us, watching on from home or wherever you are. Thank you, Jack, for keeping me company for the past 6 or so hours. It's been a long day, but it's been a fantastic day here in Jerez. We'll see you in Misano for the penultimate round of the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Stay safe and bye for now.